two men with eerily similar backgrounds nearly got to Donald Trump. Both Act Blue donors, both within 500 yards of the former president. Coincidence? Highly unlikely. Today, we're going to get into a web of connections involving BlackRock, the CIA, Ukrainian militias, and both assassination attempts on Donald Trump's life. Brace yourselves for a tale that'll make your head spin. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and smack that like button because it does help us with the algorithm so we can spread our message to more people. All right, guys, buckle up because we're about to embark on a journey that'll make your favorite conspiracy theory look like a children's bedtime story. We're talking assassination attempts, shady corporations, and government agencies playing musical chairs with our democracy. Let's start with our two main characters, Thomas Crooks and Ryan Routh. These guys have a lot more in common than their apparent love for alliteration. Both were donors to Act Blue, a Democratic piggy bank, or ATM machine, if you will. And both somehow managed to get within 500 yards of the man who will more than likely be our next president, Donald Trump. Now, you would think that the mainstream media would be all over this like flies on, well, you know. But nope, they are about as interested in this story as I am in vegan cheese, which, by the way, is an abomination and should be illegal. But here's where it gets really interesting, guys. Our friend Crooks, yeah, we all know that he starred in that 2023 BlackRock commercial. But Ralph, he popped up in a 2022 ad for a Ukrainian militia, a militia trained by none other than your friendly neighborhood CIA. But who funded this little project? You guessed it, BlackRock. It's like a game of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, except instead of Kevin Bacon, it's a global financial giant with its fingers in more pies than a little fat kid behind a counter in a bakery. Now, let's talk about Ryan Routh for a moment. This guy's resume reads like a rejected plot for a B-movie thriller. Construction worker who turned Hawaiian business failure turned international mercenary recruiter. I'm not making this up, guys. Ralph set up a website offering Americans $1,200 a month to fight for Ukraine. That's right. For the price of a mediocre apartment in rural Nebraska, you too can play real-life Call of Duty. But wait, Ralph also dabbled in smuggling Afghan soldiers out of Pakistan and Iran to fight in Ukraine. Do you believe this? A guy who had no money because his business went under, but he gets to fly all over the world. He gets to put up $1,200 a month for people to come in and be mercenaries to fight in Ukraine. You know, nothing says stable individual like a side hustle in international soldier trafficking. And just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, Ralph's criminal record enters the room. We're talking over 100 charges, including possession of a weapon of mass destruction. You know, just your average Tuesday for a totally normal, not at all suspicious person. But here's the kicker. Despite all this, Ralph managed to vote in North Carolina while officially living in Hawaii. I guess island life really does make you forget where you live, right? And somehow this guy with more red flags than a Chinese military parade managed to wait 12 hours for Trump at the golf course, despite the schedule being off the record, according to the Secret Service. Either Ralph's got a crystal ball or something fishy is going on with the Secret Service. Now let's talk about BlackRock. If you thought that they were just another boring financial company, think again. These guys are playing 4D chess while the rest of us are still trying to figure out how the horsey moves. They've got their tentacles in everything from Ukrainian oil to rare minerals. And in 2022, they basically purchased Ukraine for $500 billion. Now, why would they do that? Because they own companies that are going to be selling oil and rare minerals. I mean, talk about a Black Friday deal. But here's where it gets really interesting. BlackRock's got more former executives in the Biden-Harris administration than there are Kardashians in Hollywood. So what does that mean? It means that BlackRock owns countries, including Washington, D.C., the Biden-Harris administration, right? I mean, it's like they're not even trying to hide it anymore. Hey, remember when we used to pretend that government and big business are separate? Yeah, good times. Not anymore. Now on to the CIA and the FBI. Remember when they were the good guys in all the movies? Well, the plot has twisted. They're looking more like BlackRock's personal bouncers these days. They're treating Crooks and Ralph like they're the masterminds behind the grand conspiracy, when in reality, they were about as sophisticated as a knock-knock joke at a philosophy convention. And don't even get me started on how they handle Crooks' case. Secret cremations without telling anybody, scrubbed crime scenes. It's like they scrubbed his parents' house like a medicinal lab. It's like they binged every episode of CSI and decided to do the exact opposite. They cleaned Crook's parents' house so thoroughly you could perform surgery in there. I mean, who doesn't love a surprise deep clean from the FBI, right? So what's the big picture here? Well, it looks like we're living in a world where mega corporations like BlackRock are calling the shots, and government agencies are their obedient little puppies. The recent attempts on Trump's life, just another day in the office for these guys. You see, BlackRock is so powerful that they could take out anybody who stands in their way. And they've been trying to, it looks like, with Donald Trump. They don't even care that we know it. It's like they're daring us to do something about it. Oh, you caught us manipulating global politics and trying to assassinate a former president? That's cute. Now run along and watch some cat videos. Guys, we're not just talking about politics anymore. This is a full-on clash between totalitarian control of the world and the will of the people. It's like David versus Goliath, except Goliath has nuclear weapons and David's slingshot is made out of wet spaghetti. If Kamala Harris and the Democrats win in November, we might as well change our national anthem to Welcome to the Hotel California, because we'll never be able to get rid of this mess. So what can we do? Well, for starters, we can stay informed. Share this video with everybody you know. We can keep asking questions. We can demand answers from government. And most importantly, we can refuse to be silenced. Because if we don't stand up to this evil cabal of elites, we might as well hand over our democracy gift wrapped with a pretty little bow. Remember, guys, knowledge is power. And in this case, it might be the only thing standing between us and a future where BlackRock decides what you'll have for breakfast. So stay vigilant, stay informed, and for the love of all that's holy, don't appear in any BlackRock commercials. All right, thank you for watching. Subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to be kept up to date with the latest in political shenanigans and corporate tomfoolery. I'll see you in the next one. Spread the word.